Okay, welcome back. And we still have Ambassador Elijah Onyagba with us, Nigeria's ambassador to Burundi and patron as well as of the Southeast APC Ashwaju Shetima disciples. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for staying with us. And in studio, we have Comrade Ayodele Adewale, and we're looking at, the presentation to the public of the 80-page manifesto of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his running mate, Shetima. And there have been a number of, shall we say, sort of juicy promises in there. But suffice it to say that top on the list of his priorities, that is the candidates of APC, their priority, top on the list of action, national security, economy, agriculture, power, oil and gas, transportation, and education. The budget has been tagged Renewed Hope 2023 Action Plan for a Better Nigeria. Now, let me quickly go back to, sorry, Reverend Dominic, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yori, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, comrades.
Good morning, sir. He answered you.
I want to, okay, answered me. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I want to talk to comrade. Comrade, I've known him for very long time. He's a very straightforward man, a good politician to my own understanding. But comrade, it seems to us in APC that there's a desperate attempt to shut some of us out. Because the document you are holding, I have made an effort to get that document. And that document, is when you have a document as a party. I have sympathy for APC. Everybody knows this. When you have a document, you can be able to defend your candidate and say that candidate. What I have here is the old one, but they don't want to give it to us. For any reason, I do not know. But I know they have said in APC that the reward system now will be different. But I'm not seeing it. But that's by the way. But let me say this. Comrades, if years ago we be crying about the way they're managing the government of Buhari, why we were crying about that is this, that the next president have to roll on the success of the last president. Now, there was 2-point agenda that make Nigerians follow APC and myself as a pastor in 2015. It's corruption and security. And today, but it seems to me, we have abandoned corruption. Give government prison to ex-governors. Everybody claps hands. The same government released these 2 governors. What are we going to use to campaign at this time? That document, you have them in the 80 pages. What is interested in the Nigerian is to stop this corruption, to have peace of mind, security. Other things can stand on it. Yori is a witness. A year ago, we were talking about certain agenda. And I said 3 agenda for this government. Number 1 is security. Number 2 is security. Number 3 is security. Without security, there's nothing you can achieve. This government has achieved so much in infrastructure. Niger Bridge is there now. But because of insecurity, it has just gone to backseat. This government has achieved so much in infrastructure. But because of insecurity, nobody talk about it. The question is that there's people somewhere in the north who are making it impossible. I want to say this for our own turn to work. And those people are people who are experienced in this campaign. Thank you, comrades.
Well, thank you very much for calling in, Reverend Dominic. Did you have any comment? Because that is, as he was saying, he said Yori can witness. Yeah, he's been consistent, even when he's angry at his team. That is his party. He'll come out here and vent his anger. So that doesn't mean I'm leaving, but I'm angry. I expected better.
Well, just to paraphrase my answer to him, I did listen to all what he said, but you must understand that the administration started with a fairly rocky start because of the health condition of the president. And by the time they moved into full swing, you saw the amount of energy that was deployed to fighting corruption. It's not as if they have abandoned the fight against corruption. The fight is still ongoing. But again, you cannot set aside the judiciary. The judiciary has a lot to do in making sure that things are done appropriately. And if you look at the number of conviction that the EFCC have gotten so far, in this administration, they've gotten more than the previous administration put together. So that is not to say that they have abandoned that. And in terms of infrastructure, which he has also agreed to, the administration have done more in the infrastructural sector than any other previous administration. The Ashwaju government, by the grace of God, we improve on all of that. We all agree that Ashwaju is very good when it comes to building economic structures, social structures, and of course, security structures.
Of course.
He has done it before. He would do it better. He has explained it in a very simplistic fashion.
Indeed.
Simplistic.
Can I come in there? Because along the lines of what you're saying, Ambassador, Ashwaju has also said, if for those who have tried to sort of distill it into some of the most important aspects of this Renewed Hope 2023 document, that is that the Ashwaju Dati team intends to build a Nigeria especially for our youth, where sufficient jobs, decent wages, will be all over the place. I just wanted to mention that. Good morning to you, Mr. George, and thank you very much for holding on. I think I overplayed my hand a bit there. Thought I could just squeeze that in, and for some reason, I've lost Mr. George. Hope that we can get him back as quickly as possible. So coming to you, Ambassador Onyegba, that point that I made, it's also important, isn't it, that it has been said that there will be an effort to sort of evolve a Nigeria, for the youth of Nigeria, where they can see that it is worth their while. I think that's a very important aspect because, as you know, the youth, there are the youths, of course, there's a whole youth wing of APC, but the youth, generally speaking, they're very quick to conclusions, and I hope I don't get my head cut off for this. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, unfortunately, will say that, you might know of the term Japa. Everybody wants to leave, Everybody wants to leave. Now, here is the document saying that Nigeria is in the process of being built, especially for our youths. Comment on that, will you, please, Ambassador?
So thank you. Thank you very much for bringing me back. I have had a lot of commentaries on these issues. First, let me tell the man that called late earlier on concerning the document of the campaign. It's actually available online, and I'm sure the organizing secretary might as well find a way to send him the document. The challenge we have as Black people, and indeed the challenge we also have as Nigerians, is that most times we also don't spend time to go through the details of what has been documented. The young people of Nigeria is, at this point in time, are very, very worried. I understand that very, very clearly. And I believe that that is the reason why we need to spend time to dissect these documents, from security issues to oil and gas to agriculture to the economy. I'm actually an economist, by the way, so I'm always interested in discussing issues as relates to the economy. What the Renewed Hope document have done is to say, listen, the incoming Ashwaju administration will not tax people the more. There are always issues with the budget. The budget is always challenged by way of funding. How do you finance the budget? Okay, we have 20 trillion right now. Our revenue profile is not enough to be able to support it. Therefore, what are the things we want to do to be able to balance the budget? And most times what we have done is to borrow, which is to increase debt. But clearly, even when you dissect the Ashwaju's documents, you're going to begin to look at areas where he talked about looking at the blockchain technology. The ways of funding a budget, number one is through your revenues. Number two is through debts. There's also even the equity option. And of course, he's saying, listen, the world is evolving. We now have blockchain technologies. And of course, a lot of countries in the world are also beginning to look at blockchain as one of the things or one of the areas of raising financing to be able to fund your project or fund your budget. So clearly for Ashwaju's Renewed Hope document, these documents have clearly earmarked all the things that he will do for job creation, increasing of taxes for alcohol and tobacco consumption, to ensure that we widen the tax net, because what is important for us is not even to increase taxes. What is important for us is to get in more people into the tax system. A lot of people in SMEs don't pay taxes. If you ask people that are shouting that they want better road, they want improved security, how many of us actually pay taxes? Go to FIRS and ask them. You find out that even the tax identification system for individuals are only for those that are in the organized private sector and civil servants. Quite a lot of people don't pay taxes in Nigeria. So part of the things we will do, or the government is coming as
sure, Mr. Ambassador.
Or expatiated by it.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. You know, just to clear up, there's egg all over my face. I misspoke. Spoke about Asiwaju. I don't know how I made that kind of a hybrid. Asiwaju Dati, and it should be. I should have said Asiwaju Shetima. Of course, I'm making a hybrid of that doesn't exist. But yeah. Also, thank you very much, Fidel in Owerri, for holding on all that while. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Uncle Yori. Let me say that this document, as beautiful as it is what Nigerians actually expect. But the problem with Nigerians have confidence in this. This is not the first time our politicians are coming out with documents of this nature. And when they get into office, they don't implement them. I want to suggest that every Nigerian that comes across this document must keep a copy so that we use it as a yardstick to measure the performance of the principal when assuming that he wins the election. There must be this measure so that we monitor to ensure that they walk the talking. It's one thing is to say something, another thing is to walk the talking. And that is what Nigerians no longer want. We want a situation where all these beautiful ideas are put into practice by our politicians by the time they assume office. Thank you and God bless you. I'm Fidel Onyeneke.
Thank you very much for calling in, Fidel. Yeah, so comrade, as we were saying, Asiwaju himself has said it, he's going to leverage on, you know, the work that has been done by the current administration. And as you know, they've been quite strong in public infrastructure. Well, Asiwaju has said he's going to be, you know, his team will be modernizing and expanding that. First of all, you expand the, you know, the credible work that is there for all to see. And then, no doubt, in a part of the expansion will also be modernization of other infrastructures around the place. So it's like the Asiwaju team is also aware that you know, this is tremendously important. Infrastructure is very, very important to us. You might combine that, for instance, with the whole idea, and this is a challenging one, of exporting more and importing less. Tie those two together, and you see that if we can actually be disciplined enough to go through that, and we're on the road to recovery, aren't we?
Well, I'll pick from your last word, which is discipline. He has said that we're going to be financially disciplined. We're going to limit borrowing. And if we have to borrow at all, it has to be put at infrastructure that will create funds and sustain itself. He also talked about unplugging the energy sector using the laws, improving on the laws. They are going to allow players come into the industry to create a modular energy source for local government. It's going to allow them to come in, state government can come in, private sectors can also come in. He spoke about the hydrocarbon and how he's going to make sure that these things are unbundled and carefully nurtured, and making sure that they eradicate oil theft, especially using technology for that. He also spoke about gaining from the gas flaring that we're very used to in this country, trapping this gas, and of course improving on the pipeline that have been started by this administration all the way to Europe, making sure that we can equal and surpass the gains that Russia has gained over the years by supplying gas to Europe. These are things that will bring energy funds to our country. He also spoke about housing, how he's going to make sure that mortgage finances are very open to many companies and individuals to tap into it. He also spoke about banks that will adhere to the economic policies to creating housing and all of that. And if they do it appropriately, they'll be given incentives. And for those that refuse to plug in, will also be sanctioned. Okay. He also spoke about companies.
Okay. Okay. You know, we also have on the line, thank you, comrade. We also have on the line Sunday, who is calling in from Akwa Ibom State. And by the way, that's the document there, the renewed, you know, Hope 2023. And as you've just heard, it's also online. We should be able to get you that the URL for that, and so that everybody should be able to get hold
No,
of
they
it
can
online.
just type APC manifesto, renewed hope.
Good.
It will bring it up.
Good
Okay.
morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Sunday in Akwa Ibom. Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you so much. But the next issue is that you don't really waste somebody like about 3 minutes time before you pick somebody call.
So
Hello?
sorry. Apologies, Sunday. So
Okay.
sorry, sir.
All right. Please, I want to go straight to the 2023 elections. We have about 3 or 4 candidates at the moment that stand out very well in Nigeria at the moment. But my fear about 2023 that we are going to board a very wrong ship. Why did I say so? Now, our dear senior father, grandfather, the Excellency, just present the manifesto. That manifesto was very, very okay. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the manifesto presented by the Tinubu. But the question is, it is part and parcel of this particular administration. If he has such a brilliant idea, why didn't he contribute into this particular administration to be able to correct 1 or 2 things? It has never been a record that he has contributed such an idea and the present person in not to use that particular idea. Unlike the same thing goes to Peter Obi, once being a governor in this particular state. Now you want to move Nigeria from a consuming country to a productive country.
Yes.
What happened that particular 8 years he was a governor in Anambra State? Why couldn't he use that particular privilege to move the Anambra State from consuming industry to a productive country? Now because they wanted to fight into a president. Even an Tito Bobaka. I'm not saying anybody's a friend.
Okay,
But
I've got to interrupt you. I beg your pardon, Sunday. I've got to interrupt you, but thank you very much for calling in. And, you know, I don't know, maybe long answer short is that there are different administrations. You know, you might make suggestions and people don't have to come out to you and tell you what they've done, but there are administrations that are different and people that you know at the head of that administration will be taking responsibility for whatever they, you know, come up with and they work with. Okay, so Ambassador, you know, another thing that I'd like to bring up with you, continuing from my earlier point about the youths, is that the Hope 2023 plan is also speaking about emboldening the support for the youth, going to areas that perhaps haven't been paid as much attention to in the past. I'm talking here about entertainment, the digital economy, culture, tourism, those kind of things. He said those things are massive. And we know that there are countries who do, especially if you want the entertainment, apart from sports, which is well known, but also the entertainment. Is that something else you could comment upon that's in the right direction for, this is not just the youth, but especially the youth who are into all of that?
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, let me start by saying that what we're doing is to be able to explain the policies or the policy trust of the incoming administration to the Nigerian people. We are not involved in trading words. We don't want to go to throw banters because we know that the documents we have fully explained what needs to be done in Nigeria to be able to achieve the Nigerian dream. The youth of this country are at the point where they need a lot of guidance. The youth of this country are at the point where they need people to touchlight the areas where they can enter, occupy those spaces and be able to showcase their talents. And that is in the area of entertainment. And when you talk about entertainment in Nigeria, one of the things that come to your mind is Lagos State. That's the melting pot of entertainment in Nigeria. Why is everyone going to Lagos? Why are Anambra people going to Lagos on entertainment? Why are Kano people going to Lagos on entertainment? It basically says that there's a model that has already been built. Producers of music are there. Those that are doing all kinds of shows are in Lagos State. So that is actually a model that has been established that can be replicated across the country. You know, it's important for every one of us to understand that with the incoming administration, there's already an example. There's already a track record of something that has been achieved. The Nigerian youth want to work. I understand. The average Nigerian youth, if they have an option, and I'm also speaking to them right now, the job phenomenon that is raining everywhere. It's unfortunate because I've also traveled across the length and breadth of the world, and I have seen Nigerians. It's actually not as easy as they think. Right now, it seems like, okay, want to go to Europe, want to go to America. But by the time you get there, you're going to suffer all manner of discrimination. You're going to suffer all manner of racism. You're going to, at some point, you're going to be asking yourself, did you make the right decision? And that's the reason why we need to utilize this as strength, because population can be an advantage and can also be a disadvantage at the same time. It's a disadvantage if we are unable to provide jobs and get them to be working. It's an advantage, which is actually what you can liken to what China did, which is to find a way to create jobs for the people to be able to engage them meaningfully. Mm-hmm. And that's what I believe that the administration is talking about. If you look at the areas where he talked about devolution of powers to the states and local government, especially in areas like management of prisons, stamp duties, crime prevention, and certain taxes. And then he also plans to rework the allocation formula to make funds available, to make more funds available for the states and the local governments.
Okay,
which is basically
Mr. Ambassador, I'm sorry to jump in. I really apologize for jumping in as you were speaking, Mr. Ambassador. I'm so sorry, but time is, a despot, unlike the Democrats that surround us here. Time is a despot, and we've run out of time. But I want to thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. Nigeria's ambassador to Burundi and also patron of the Southeast APC Asiwaju Shettima disciples. Thank you very much for coming on our program, making time for us this morning. Thank you. And to the point that you made earlier, comrade, that look, that gentleman who said that this document, why is it being hoarded? It's on there. If you don't have the URL, just type in Renewed Hope 2023 and it's going to come up.
Just go to Google, you get it.
Yes, it's going to come up.
And that's why I deliberately put it here and brought it to your station so that people can read it.
So that's the hard copy.
Yeah.
And, you can also get a soft copy. Maybe that's even the most convenient.
And there's something I forgot.
Sure.
You see, the world is changing. We're moving towards digital money and all of that. In this document, too, it spoke about cryptocurrency.
Yes. That's what I was talking about, the digital economy. Yeah.
And I think the youth can catch into that.
Exactly. Thank you very much. That's a very important point there, because it's like this, Asiwaju Shettima ticket, they are sort of clued in, as it were, to all aspects that are of importance to Nigeria. And whoever doesn't know that the youth are an emerging important aspect that needs to be harnessed, well, that's certainly not the APC team. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for coming on. Yeah. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.